Hi everybody, I am back with a layout share. First I want to apologize. I have not posted a video in probably about 10 days, maybe it's been 2 weeks. I have been busy just with work and other things at home, and I have not stopped creating. Actually, I've done quite a bit, and I mentioned before my last layout share that I post all of these on Instagram, so if you follow me there, you've seen them, but I did not do process videos for these, and it's not because I don't want to, but anyone who makes videos understands that it takes a little bit more time to do that. And I have recorded 2 process videos, and those will both go up this week, just because I feel a little bad. I appreciate everyone who has subscribed to me. I'm extremely grateful for all of you who have been watching and commenting, and I just wanted to say I really appreciate it. And I will try to get back to my normal schedule soon. So there's 21 layouts here, and they go back probably about a month, because I plan to do a layout share for any layouts that I don't do a process video. So I wanted to share these, and if anyone has any questions about any of the products that I used or any of the details, please comment below and I will definitely get back to you. So let's get started. So I have been digging into my stash, as I've mentioned many times before, and there's really no rhyme or reason to it. I have a stack of collections that I have used the majority of, and I keep them in a separate place because when I want to just bust out a layout, then that's what I go to first, because I want to try and use it up. So the first 3 layouts I think are from Cocoa Vanilla and Studios, and it's a mix of their Hello Lovely and what's the other one? Hello Lovely, and there is another one. And it's, if anyone's familiar with Cocoa Vanilla Studios, some of their collections are a little similar, like in terms of the color palette. So I apologize, I don't know what the other one is off the top of my head. I can't find a branding strip, but I love their papers and their collections. They're so beautiful. So this one is actually for my daughter. She was 3, so it's about 6 or 7 years ago. And I do know that it was on Easter, but it came across on my Facebook memory. It popped up. You guys see those? And I just love this picture. And I am pretty sure that I scrapped it 6 years ago, but I couldn't resist printing it again. So because I've used a lot of this collection, I had a lot of the branding strips. So that's what you see a lot here. And then I did cut a few more strips and use some scraps and stitch them down. And then about halfway through my stitching, my bobbin ran out, and I'm short on white thread, so I switched it to a blue, which you can see. And I did a zigzag, and this is obviously not a zigzag. Something crazy was going on with my sewing machine, but I left it anyway. I think it adds a little bit more, I don't know, interest. So it doesn't bother me. But I was happy to just use some of the scraps up. I added some of the embellishments, and so it's not one of my favorite pages, but I love the picture, and I was happy to use some of the product. There are a couple more from Cocoa Vanilla. Maybe, actually, now that I think about it, the other couple of ones I did are the process videos, so those will be coming up soon. The next couple are from Pretty Little Studio. Again, I have a couple of different collections mixed in because I've used the majority of them, and I love their papers. I love the colors, and so that's why I went with just a white background and layered some of their papers to stress that the edges. This is a picture of my daughter at the bus stop. I'm always snapping photos of her. She is 9 and she has, this year's school year, she has started to pay way more attention than in the past to what she wears, and she's wearing this little headband with flowers on it, and I thought it was cute. So yeah, nothing really truly unique, I guess, about this. Just the papers and the embellishments from Pretty Little Studio are so unique on their own, but I added quite a bit of the stickers and the puffy stickers. Those are from Pink Fresh Studio, and I'm actually really happy with the way that this turned out. It's kind of simple and in my mind, just because I didn't really use that many techniques. It's just but I love the colors and I love the way that it turned out. This is Pretty Little Studios, also their flowers, and it's a picture of my parents. They went to see the Cherry Blossoms Festival, or the trees, in DC. We live near DC, and it was actually a recent photo, and I always bug them to take pictures of themselves and send them to me because I don't usually get that many of them. I had a hard time figuring out where to add my journaling, which is why it's over here, and to mimic the title so it would balance it out. But I added some texture paste on the background, and the flowers, the die cut flowers, are from Pretty Little Studio, and then the white ones, I had those in my stash that I had cut from, some are from Wellno Furstenberg, and a couple of the other ones, I'm not sure where I got them from, but I layered them on top. Just, I don't know why that thought came to my mind, but I like the way that it looks. And I added some of the Nuvo Shimmer pen on everything. I got those a couple of months ago and I love it. There's so much. I don't know if you can see it from in the video, but it adds so much shimmer to it, and I like it. So there's that one. So this, I actually had been pondering in my mind for a very long time. I know I'm not the only one who has a ton of thickers and chipboard letters in their stash that they can't make words out of anymore. And I actually saw this done by somebody else, and forgive me, I don't know her name, but she posted it on Paper Issues Challenge. I think it was the no cardstock one, and I thought that is definitely something that I am going to have to try. And it did take me quite a bit of time to glue all of these down, and it looks kind of dull, and I don't know if you can tell from the video, but I actually used an off-white piece of cardstock, and I'm not sure why, but in my mind I was thinking, well, once I add all of them down, I'm going to add a layer of gesso and paint, and I thought that it would whiten it, but it didn't. But it turns out that the collection that I used, it goes really well with it. And so it is from Fancy Pants, and it is probably 8 years, 9 years old, and I do still have a little bit left, but not a lot. I added some puffy stickers from Pink Fresh Studios, and the little enamel dots, I added some clear. Those are from Nuvo, so they're the white and the clear. And this is of my daughter again at the bus stop. The title is Bus Stop Chats because, again, I walk her to the bus stop every morning, and I'm always trying to snap photos of her, which she's not thrilled about, but we talk about what she's excited about that day and what our plans might be after school. And so every morning we have little chats, and it's just a small moment of our day, but they're important to me. So there is that. This is from an old collection from My Mind's Eye. I think it was called Adorbs, and again, it's several years old. This is a cut file that I backed with one of the pattern papers, and it was a free cut file, and I don't recall. For the life of me, I tried to find where I got this from, and because it was a free one, my guess would be that I got it off of like Scrapbook and Cards magazine has free ones, but I try to get free cut files anytime I can. So I apologize, I don't know where I got it from, but I decided to add some of the brads that were included in the collection because I had so many left, and so I was happy to use up some of those. This is a flare from Cuts to Love, which is an Etsy shop, and this is of my stepdaughter who recently, not recently, it was actually almost a year ago that this photo was taken, but she moved into her own place, and I took her shopping at Home Goods for the first time. If anybody is familiar with that store, they know how wonderful it is and how hard it is to get out of there without spending money, but needless to say, it is one of her favorites. So that was fun. So this layout was created inspired by a page that Paige Evans created recently. She used a different background, but she painted black on hers, and this is one of her cut files that I shrunk to suit the size butterflies that I wanted. And I just sprayed and inked and splattered and layered them like she did, and added in some vellum layers, stitched them. And this is a butterfly stencil, I think it's a Heidi Swap, but I also used the Heidi Swap metallic texture paste, and I'm really happy with the way that this turned out. Again, I can't take credit for the idea, the design of it, because Paige Evans did create something similar, and I did want to try it myself, and I actually really love the way that it turned out. This is a flare from Cuts to Love again, and this is from Bramble Fox. I recently discovered their products and I love them. They are all acrylic, they're pretty heavy duty, and they have some really cute designs, so go check those out if you can. It's Bramble Fox. This is of a my husband and daughter walking down train tracks. We went away for the weekend with some friends, and I just thought it was a pretty picture, and with all the color that's going on, I printed it in black and white because I thought that that would go well with it. So really happy with this, and if you haven't seen Paige's layout, definitely check out her Instagram because I know that it's there. So this layout is, I created it for the paper issues challenge, and again, same thing with the thickers. I have so much wood veneer that I have a list that I created for myself of layout ideas that I want to use certain products for, and wood veneers is, now I still have a lot of them left, but I was able to use a lot on here. This again is another piece from Bramble Fox. This is from Freckled Fawn, which I don't think they have them anymore. And this is a flare, I'm pretty sure from Cuts to Love also, but I stitched around the edge, and I decided to add some beads and charms just to add to the color, and it's a Paper Issues cut file. And it actually says something down here on the cut file, but my silhouette wasn't happy that day, so it didn't turn out. So I covered it up, which I think turned out really well anyway. So I'm really happy with the way that this turned out. It's just a picture I snapped of my daughter. Sometimes I get cold in my house, and I walk around the house with my Redskins hat on, and she likes to steal it from me. She always looks cute in it. So I added some buttons and some puffy stickers. So kind of simple idea, but I used a lot of products, so I was really happy about that. This is a layout that I created just because I have a huge flower stash. So this is another one of those things on my list. I used to add flowers to my layouts all the time, and I kind of got away from that style. But there's some layouts and pictures that I think, I don't know, I feel like using the flowers, it creates a completely different look, and I definitely used a lot of flowers on this one. This Love You is a cut file from Just Nick Studios, and the paper collection is really old. It's from Glitz Designs. Does anybody recognize that name? And I've had it for a long time. I layered in some cut file leaves, which were from Wilna Furstenberg, and I think there's a couple other random ones that I might have gotten off the Silhouette store. And this piece of chipboard was from Scrap FX, I think it's Scrappy FX, that I embossed, and then I added some gold glitter emboss on it from Tim Holtz, which I love. This is of a picture of my younger brother and his girlfriend. They're so cute. Young love. So I'm really happy with this way that this turned out. So I think I'm going to try and incorporate more flowers on my layouts, at least, if nothing else, just to use some of my stash, right? So, okay, so this one is created with Maggie Holmes' Flourish collection, which I absolutely love. And this cut file is from Paige Evans' Silhouette store. It is a photo of my husband, my daughter, and I. We went to Tennessee last August for the eclipse, and this was on the way back, and we stopped at one of those overlook places, and there was just a beautiful scene view from there. I backed all the cut files with the solid pieces of pattern paper, and I added a lot of the shimmer pen from Nuvo, which I don't know if you can see in there. These flares are from Cuts to Love. Forgive me if you hear my dog barking in the background. There is nothing that my dog won't bark at. I titled it with Cherished Memory. These are from the letter stickers from the title is Cherished Memory. Those are from the sticker sheet, and I layered some sequins, the flares from Cuts to Love. I cut these tags in half and split them, which I like the way that looked. Once I added this down here, I felt like it was off balance. Although there's so much going on in here, I don't know that it would have mattered. I did add some vellum in the center of the cut file, because even though the background paper was black, it I don't know, it just seemed a little busy. So I'm really happy with the way this turned out. Okay, so this layout is completely different than anything I've ever done before. I saw something similar on Instagram from, I'm gonna butcher her name, but her blog name is Abstract Inspiration, and I've been watching her videos for years, and recently she created a layout she called typography, which I'd never heard of, but I'm sure it's a thing, where she just layered stickers and things like this that she might not have used for a title, and I had a ton of them. I mean, I've been holding on to a lot of these for a long time, hoping that the right layout would come along, and they don't. This is actually a mask from Heidi Swap. I think you're supposed to use it with ink, and I thought when I bought it that I would use it that way, but then I was thinking I could just use it as an embellishment. This is from Bramble Fox. Again, I love all their products. This was cut from my Cameo, and I painted it. A lot of these things I added some, it's called glaze, and it's called Journey Glaze, and I believe that it's from Fun Stamper's Journey. That's right. This stuff, I've had it for quite some time. I've used a lot of it, but it's kind of like glossy accents, but it dries so much quicker, and I love the way that it turns out. these I've had for so long. They were actually in wood veneer frames. Anybody remember seeing those a long time ago? Like you'd pop them out and so you'd still have the word at the bottom of the frame. But so for instance, all these things, I might have used them at one point or another, but I had so many in my stash, I thought that is a really great way to use them up. And they don't necessarily all make sense, but it's more about just the look of it, and it kind of looks like pop artish. Does that make sense? So again, it's not like any layout that I normally make, but again, I was really happy to just use it in my stash. So if you haven't seen her layout on Instagram, you should go take a look because hers was awesome, and that is where I got the idea from. So this is a layout for my father's birthday, and he actually snapped this photo. I think I got, which I thought was cute. The kids in our family always seem to think that when it's someone's birthday that they all get to blow out candles. I don't know how that got started, but that's just what happens. So they all always crowd around whoever birthday it is and blows out the candles. And I just thought it was a sweet photo. It's not really anything truly unique about this, but I was happy to document the photo. I put my journaling on this card and slid it into this bag. It's actually, this bag is what I received some flair in from Cuts to Love. I don't throw any of that stuff away because I always find a use for it. And I know that it's a birthday photo, but I didn't really want to make it really birthday themed. I did put a cupcake down here, and I felt like that was enough. This is a cut file from the cut shop that I've had in my stash for a really long time, and I actually cut it from a pattern paper from My Mind's Eye, and the embellishments are from that also. So this is one of my favorite layouts that I've done recently. It's a cut file from Paper Issues, and this is the first layout that I attempted stitching on, hand stitching. I've been watching Paige Evans do it a lot, and I have been sewing for years but never hand stitched. So I did the hand stitching, the chain stitch is what she refers to it, and it's not quite as clean as hers, but she's been doing it a lot longer than I have. This is a photo of my husband and daughter snuggling. She is like, my husband is like her best buddy. They have things in common that she doesn't have with me, and sometimes it's just really cute to see them interact. So a lot of the embellishments are kind of random. I used some stickers, and these stickers from Paige Evans. This is from an old sticker sheet, I think from crepe paper. This was crepe paper. Some of these epoxy stickers, I think those are from Hip Kit Club. So a lot of it is just like a combination of products from different places. But this is the kind of layout when I do a cut file, and the cut file is so large, it really is the main design element. This one I just pull things from my stash that aren't necessarily in a collection per se that I add to it, and whatever matches. But I was really happy with the way that this turned out. So this is another layout I created from My Mind's Eye old collection. This is Dear Lizzie die cut, and the cut file, again, I don't know where I got this cut file. It's like falling hearts, so I backed each of the hearts with different pattern papers and used a lot of the embellishments from that same collection, and really everything is from that collection, even the buttons and the brads, except for the cloud is from Freckled Fawn, and this was from Dear Lizzie. This, I believe, is from Cuts to Love, and then a couple of the enamel hearts are from Chamel's enamel shapes. This is from Freckled Fawn. I don't think they have those anymore, but I've used a lot of them. So this was just of my daughter. We were watching a baseball game, and it was a pretty picture. Not really anything huge to document, but I just thought it was a really pretty picture. So this layout is also of my daughter, She snapped this photo herself through Snapchat, and there's little flowers in her hair, and she's only 9, but you know, anyone who has daughters knows like there's a struggle between, you know, what girls grow up thinking about themselves and other girls, and the thought crosses my mind, you know, quite frequently what's going on in her head, and you know, just trying to be supportive of her as a girl and as my daughter. But she snaps these photos with the filters, and she has mentioned to me that she thinks that she looks better with them, and so that was the purpose behind my title. This is a die cut from Simon Says Stamp, The Beautiful, and then I wrote filter and no filter with some tiny letter stickers, just because this is what my journaling explains. I want her to know that she's beautiful, filter or no filter, it doesn't matter. And I didn't add a lot to this page just because the cut file was such a huge design element. I got this off the blog from B. Valent, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, but she creates the most beautiful pages, and she has a few free cut files on her blog if you check it out. So I didn't add a lot. I tried to pop up some of the, if you can see, some of the leaves and the flowers on foam. Obviously it was impossible to pop all of it up because it's so intricate. And then some of the flowers, loose flowers, were also included, and I painted those to scatter about. I did add some modeling, some texture paste, and add a little bit of watercolor and splatters from Heidi Swap Color Shine. I didn't want to add too much just because, again, like I said, the cut file was so large, but I have some gems from Lucy's Little Things included in there, and I'm really happy with this. I think it's pretty. So this is one of my favorite pages recently. It is from an older collection from My Mind's Eye. I think that it is called, I'm looking. It was called Find Your Wings and Fly. It's like several years old again. This cut file is from Paper Issues, and I have been holding on to this collection for a long time because I loved all the patterns and all the colors, and the thought did cross my mind that I went a little overboard on this one. This is part of the cardstock, so there's a lot of elements that are already on the base pattern paper. I did add some of these dimensional embellishments that were included with the kit. All of these, the buttons, those are all included. The hearts are from Freckled Fawn. I don't remember where the tassels came from, but I think they're like crepe paper, Maggie Holmes. I could be wrong. This is just of my daughter. She was out playing on a pretty summer day. Funny story. She went through this little phase last summer where she was going to be a spy. So she created this backpack and this little spy kit. So walkie-talkies and what else were in there? Like these spy glasses, and it's the funniest thing. So that was her. She has her walkie-talkie in her hand. This is a piece of chipboard from, oh my goodness, Scrappy FX. Pretty sure that's what it is. I embossed it. I have been holding on to that for a very long time too, and I just decided I need to use it. Like, I love it so much, and I'm happy that I used it, but I am a little sad because it's no longer in my stash. Does that make sense? I'm pretty sure you guys feel my pain. I added some little puffy hearts and stars. Those are from Pink Fresh Studio, and a lot of gems from Lucy's Little Things. I'm really happy with the way that this turned out. Yeah, that was fun. So I know this is kind of like a Valentine's Day page a little bit. The collection was definitely a Valentine's collection. It was from Pink Paisley, and it is old. I think it was called Secret Crush. It's really old. But I love the colors of it, and I used a lot of it. This is obviously not from that. I think that was crepe paper. This is from a cut file from, I want to say Jen's Gal. Like, I think I got a free one from her blog or something. This cut file is from Just Nick Studios, and this is actually, I submitted this layout to Paper Issues. It was called At an Angle or On an Angle. These little hearts are from Bramble Fox, and it's kind of different for me, the layout of it and the design, but I was really happy with it. So this layout, I actually created this one long before the other typography one that I just showed you. I realized, you know, when going through my stash, I had so many love embellishments like chipboard and stickers. This was from leftover from a cut file, and I decided I was just going to use them all on one layout. I had recently got the stamp set from Paige Evans, and decided to stamp the rest of my title. This is of my daughter, and she has a huge baby doll collection, and she loves them all equally. It's really kind of cute. And I didn't want to add too much more for the title with all of this going on, but I just painted them all white. Some of them were in different colors of chipboard, so they don't all match necessarily. The hearts that are scattered about, those are from Pink Fresh Studio. The flare, which I love these are from Cuts to Love. And the background paper is a pattern paper that I got from the Hip Kit Club. I am not a member, but I do order their kits occasionally, and this was an exclusive design by Irit. I'm sure you all heard of her. She does beautiful watercolor, and I think she's done a few other exclusive papers, but I ordered that kit because of this, and there are a couple other things in there, and I had to have it. So I chose this pattern paper just because I knew I was going to paint all of these white, and I didn't really have to do much of anything else to the background. So I was really happy with this. I thought it was cute. So this layout is with a Paige Evans cut file also. This is a collection from Basic Gray. Does anybody remember them? I have these photos that I printed small of my husband and daughter. We have a lake nearby that we like to walk down to and feed the ducks. So I cut those and put them in, and then just filled in the rest of the Polaroid shapes with embellishments. And I actually really like the way that this turned out. I pulled out some things that have been in my stash for probably over 10 years. No kidding. Like these brads, the butterfly actually goes through this little butterfly. It's a ladybug. It actually goes through this little, I think is it a lily pond? I don't know, the little leaf. The bees, all these little tiny butterflies, those are all brads that I've had for so long. The dragonflies, so I thought what better layout than to just use them all on this page. This I actually fussy cut from an old Doodlebug, like Project Life card. Same with the springtime. The sunshine is, I think that was from Pink Paisley. That's more recent. A lot of the letter stickers came from Paige Evans sticker book. This is from Cuts to Love. And the buttons, like the wood buttons, those are, I think those actually were in that collection also. So I broke out my phrase roller stamp, which I hadn't used in forever. Some of it didn't turn out so well, but I was really happy with this. It's kind of whimsical, a little bit different than my typical style, but it was cute. It's something different. This is also from Basic Gray. It was that same collection. This is just simple layout. This cut file is from the cut shop is actually just a heart, and I duplicated it and welded it together so I could get one large background. This is just a picture of the flowers and the fruit basket. I don't remember where that's from. Edible Arrangements, that's it. That my husband got me for my birthday. There's some stickers from Paige Evans' sticker book. This is from Pink Paisley. These little clear phrases, those are acetate. Those are from Pretty Little Studio. There's not really anything truly unique about this, but I was just documenting the sweet, sweet things my husband gave me. So this is the last one. This I submitted to Paper Issues for their frame challenge. So it's kind of hard to see, but there's lots of frames. So there's 2 frames underneath of here, here, and here. I've layered them. And then there's 2 down here. This is also from that same Pink Paisley Secret Crush collection. They had all these little like tabs that I stapled on, these little tickets. When you read some of the embellishments from this collection, I think it was geared a little bit more towards like your husband or boyfriend or wife, whatever. But it seemed a little bit more playful to me, so I used it to document the Valentine's Day party. Look at my daughter, she sticks her tongue out. That's what I get when I try and take photos of her now, is weird faces. I cut out these doilies from one of the pattern papers, and I just layered up the embellishments. I mean, they were all super cute, and these letters are actually from really old Heidi Swap. They were like Color Theory, something along that. So they came white and you ink them, and then there's this resist pattern on them. I was happy to use those. I mean, I still have a ton of them left, but I don't know, those aren't the first things I go to when I need a... but the advantage to having things like that is that you can make them whatever color you want. I did add some hearts, and this camera is from Freckle Fawn. All the other hearts, well, these are from Bella Boulevard, the epoxy ones, but everything else is from that same collection. So I thought it was cute, and was happy to use up a lot of this collection. So I hope that you guys enjoyed watching me go through these. I know it's not quite the same as a process video, and if I had the time or the patience to do a process video for every layout, I certainly would. But again, anybody who records process videos knows that it's just time consuming, and I enjoy doing it, and I'm going to keep on doing it, but not every layout's going to get a process video. But I definitely still wanted to share my work. I hope you guys saw something that you liked, found some sort of inspiration for your next project. And if you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear them down below. I will definitely get back to you if you have a question about any of the products or any of the process for any of these. Thank you so much for watching, and again, I really want to thank all of my subscribers and the new ones who've recently joined in. I will be back in the next couple of days with 2 process videos because I feel like I need to make up for lost time. I appreciate you guys sticking with me, and I will be back soon. Thanks so much. Have a great day.